Hello guys, welcome back to Pause and welcome back to Hysteria Valley. Now this is part 3 of our new theme park build series, and in today's episode we are building some custom fences. We work on a little plaza area around the fountain in the hub. We do a little bit of building work at either side of the entrance turnstiles, where we put in some toilets and information and a cash machine. We also do a little bit of signage, and we have a little play around with billboards. I've currently made some placeholder images on those billboards, which you will see a bit later on in the video. They are just placeholders. Once I decide on the sort of branding for the park, we will look at them again and remake them. But like I say, you'll see those towards the end of this video. Now, the first thing I wanted to do here was, after I fiddle around with the camera, apologies, is just fence off the backside of the trees. Just again, more for realism purposes. I just wanted to give it a little bit more of a feel that there is a boundary to this park. I mean, I know there is rock work here, but a real park would have a little bit of fencing, just to keep out any intruders and to keep guests in, or anything, to keep them in the areas I want them to be in. So that's why we're just putting a little boundary fence around here. It only goes up to the buildings and then from the buildings over to the entrance, so it's only going into the areas that we've done so far. But obviously this will be something we expand upon as we build the park moving forwards. So it's only a very basic fence. It's not really going to be seen by guests. It's more for us and for me, just so I know it's there. And again, I say it's mainly for realism, as that's one of the keys to this park. I do want it to be quite realistic to the best of my ability. So I thought I'd take this episode to sort of explain a little bit about my views for the park. A lot of my inspiration for this so far has been taken from a park by Geekism. He's currently building a park called Pinewood Hills, and it's very much based on a kind of family run small theme park. His is a kind of 40s 50s that's developed over the years into a modern day park. Mine's a little bit more modern than that. I think this probably would have opened in maybe the 80s. So I want to try and keep it a little bit newer. But again, similar idea. I want it to feel like a family run park. So more of like a Paulton's Park or Flamingo Land than your sort of likes of Alton Towers. So got a little bit more charm to it, and a little bit more character. And it means we can be a little bit more creative with some of the pieces, which is why you see in this episode I start to put down a few little bits and pieces, which you can see a massive park like your Alton Towers and your Disneys probably wouldn't have, but it works in this style park. Now what I've started on here is I just wanted to give it a little bit of a courtyard area, as it looked a little bit bland with just the concrete. So we put in a little bit of the marble flooring. I believe that floor is actually from the Spooky Pack. I think it's the marble flooring from that, but it works quite well here. And then I just surround it with some wooden panelling just to give it an edge. So again, I think I just wanted to create a little bit of like a hub area with some benches and things like that, so people can come into the park, have a little sit down before they venture in, or even waiting for the groups of friends to arrive before they head inside for the rest of their adventure-filled day. So just a little hub overlooking the fountain, a couple of benches, a couple of bins, and some lights, and Bob is your uncle. There you go, little hub area, nice and simple. Now moving on here, I wanted to get these buildings finished off, so I decide on this left hand side building becomes a toilet block, as quite a few theme parks do put a little bit of a toilet outside, so mainly for the guys who have just arrived, and also for you to have a chance to go before you head back to your cars and away home, or to the hotel if you're at some kind of resort, which moving forwards this may become. I don't know, depends. We'll see how far we get with this game. And then over this side, on the right hand side, this becomes an information and ATM building. So we put in the information booths, and I come back a little bit later on and add the ATM to the right hand side. We just jazz it up a little bit, add a few little window pieces to make it look a bit more finished. Same over for the toilets over that side. And then just a few little details that we had in front here. Like we had, like I said, a couple of these signs, which again you probably wouldn't see in your likes of Disney or like your Alton Towers, but a sort of small family park. I think they probably would have these sort of garish signs and sort of quite obvious advertisements. Now here I was playing with the idea of adding this ATM into the side of the ticket building. It wasn't really working because of the funky paths, so we thought instead we'll stick it in the information room and make it sort of dual purpose. And I kind of create a kind of little hole in the wall style ATM, so I think it works quite well. I tried the sign, didn't like it, looked a bit too garish, so we got rid of that and just put a nice wooden one on instead, as the sign fit with the theme of these wooden signs that we've got going about. Now for some reason the information booth and the toilets made this weird funky thing on the path. Now probably someone more experienced in this game would know exactly why that happened and would be able to figure it out, but I'm not that good really at this game. I'm still learning, very new to it, so I thought I'll just create a little feature and turn it into a tiny little flower bed. It doesn't really work, but you don't see it. I stick some conifers over it anyway, and I cover this bit up with a sign. So if all else fails, just cover it up with something. It's fine. That's what these kind of parks will do. Like I say, I don't want it to be your Disney style, like completely polished. I want it to be a little bit rustic, a little bit overgrown. You know, certain things might not be where they should be. It might look a bit rustic, but that's what we're going for. This side, I couldn't even get it to work with the little wooden piece that I use over there. So I thought, you know what, screw it. Just stick in some conifers, cover it up, and that's what we've done. So yeah, it's just a case of making this area look relatively pretty and relatively interesting, but I don't want it to look too over the top. As like I said, this is based on a family-run park, so I don't think it would be too spruced up. Is probably a good word to use. I want it to still have a little bit of its charm and look a bit naff in places. So what I thought I'd make here, I am using screens, but these are basically just going to be signs. I mean, this one I'm making here kind of went a bit dodgy, so I'm repositioned everything. This is going to be a dual purpose sign that we want either side of the plaza. As you're coming into the park, it will display information about sort of ride closures, as some parks do that on the outside, just to give you an update on sort of things that are closed. Self-explanatory. And then on the other side of it, as you're leaving the park, it kind of will give you like a see you soon, kind of goodbye message. So it's like a dual purpose sign. Like I said, in real life this would be just a standard sign. They might even have a little thing on it where you like slide in ride names and things like that. But for the purposes of this game, it's easier to use these billboards and these screens. And that's what we do. And this one we sort of see you soon. Like I say, these images are just placeholders until I decide what the branding for the park is. We're just going for this horrible kind of pink and yellow thing. I put a few planters either side and underneath, using the old planter trick so guests don't walk through. It works quite well. So I don't want there to be too much clipping through buildings and such like that, so that is something we will work on. Here I just wanted to utilise this space, and I thought a nice little fenced area with a few trees would work quite well. So I had a little play with these fences. The same, I believe the same style I used for the actual cattle pens for the ticket booths. Yeah, they are, looking forward to that. So it kind of fits the area. And again, one's slightly wonky. I don't want anything to be too polished. I want it to look like it's just a bit naff, a bit thrown together, but you don't really notice. So here what we're doing is sticking another one of the signs. This one again would probably be like a banner in real life. I mean, it could be a sign. I might advertise like events and stuff on this one. This could be where a lot of the budget went, on like an LED board. But again, for now, just a placeholder see you soon sign. But yeah, moving forward, I could put stuff on there advertising like firework events, Christmas events, things like that, just so as you're leaving the park, gives you a little reason to come back in the future. Now these last three screens are just positioned at the entrance. Again, just placeholders. For now I just stick on some little directional signs taking people to the correct entrances. Very basic. One just says like season pass and main entrance, blah blah blah, and the other two just link to link to the other entrances as well. Like I said, these are just placeholders. I will come up with a better solution for these moving forwards. But it's just a good way of getting custom signs in the game. But like I said, I will make them look a little bit nicer when I decide on the branding. So far, all I've got is the logo, which is pretty much just a font, to be fair. But I think it works quite well. So that's it for the signs. I just straighten a few little bits and pieces up. But all in all, that is it for the bits we've done today. So let's have a little live view now, and I'll show you around basically the new stuff we've done. Okay, so let's have a little look around the changes. So the first thing you probably won't actually notice is the new fencing, which is around the back of the trees. So like I said, you can't really see it, but it is there if you sort of look through the gaps. And again, just add a little bit of realism, so at least you know you're safe and sort of bordered in the park. So that's just around there. Here we come to the new sort of courtyard hub area, which again I think looks quite nice. It's come out quite well. Are they floating? No, that's fine. Just the way the shadows are in this game makes things look like they're floating. So yeah, we've got a couple of benches and a couple of bins around this little nice seating area. So that's lovely. Heading down now towards our main entrance. I'm going to add a few more bits and pieces around here to sort out the path, so that's still something I need to work on. So we'll start over this side and we head over to information. Again, I know there's certain signs have been covered up and things. Again, it's the charm of this park, really. I want it to look a little bit more quirky. So in here we've got two information booths. I wasn't looking at her by any means. We've got two information booths and an ATM and cash machine. And again, around this corner, you come to a lovely fence, and we've got the little staff door just through there. So moving on around, we go over to our screens and our little signs, which again, these could be signs, screens, haven't quite decided yet, but for now they work quite well. So that I say, this one is going to contain the ride information closed today, which currently aren't every ride's open, so nothing's closed. Yay! And then this one is like it's going to be. I'll probably make a video for this actually, like a rolling advertisement loop, advertising different events. But that's something we can work on going forward. And I've just noticed this fence is a little bit wonky here. It is meant to be a little bit quirky, but that just looks naff. So I will go back and sort that now. Otherwise, it will annoy me. There we go. That's a bit better. Yeah. And then what else have we done? Over here is the toilets. Pretty much standard toilets with your standard hot dog sign outside the old toilets, which, as we all know, is what you have in life. So a couple of toilets here. For some reason, they go down there, which I don't really understand why. Not sure. Oh, sorry, madam. Yeah, I don't really understand what's going on with that, but they kind of, yeah, go down into them. Weird. And then we've just got our little signs here, which I'm not actually that keen on. Looking at them again now, I might get rid of these because I think they look a bit naff. But for now, they're in there. Added a few more trees to this area. And that's about it for today's episode. Quite a small one, apologies. I know I haven't really done that much, but I have finished off this building. And at least we've got this little courtyard done now. So the only thing really that's left to do out here is I need to finish off these. I need to add some more lights around the edge, put some windows in and make these just look generally a little bit nicer. I need to sort of tar up the edges a little bit, trees possibly around the edge. And again, I'm not really sure, but it's just something to make it look a little bit better. And then I think that is probably it for our entrance. And then we can actually get cracking on the inside of the park. So I'll just quickly go through my plans for this area. So what I'm envisioning here, and I still need to work up here, is a courtyard kind of space that's similar to this but a little bit wider, that might branch out to around here. I want to make it sort of around this. Underneath this ride I'm going to have some kind of shops, restaurant, maybe the gift shop could be around here as well. I'm going to surround this in kind of buildings around here, and there's going to be some branching paths off 3 ways, and that's kind of the start of this park. So we're going to have the main route might be up here, one round here and one round there, but this kind of creates the central area really around here. That's my plan, and that's what we're going to get cracking on in the next episode. And again, we will build this station building into whatever we build here, so you won't see any of this. It'll look like it's on top of a building. That's my plan, and that will fit into the kind of architecture of these style buildings here, which I know are very simple, but that's kind of what we're going for. And up here I'm going to add some kind of access paths and maybe like a maintenance thing, just to make it look a little bit more realistic, and put some maybe access into the building, so it looks like there's a way for maintenance to get up there and replace bulbs and get a clean, and you know, all that kind of stuff that you would have in a real park. So that's it for today. There's going to be plenty more from this park and this build series coming very soon here on the channel, as I'm actually really feeling like I'm getting into my stride here with Hysteria Valley. So yeah, there'll be loads more of this coming very soon. So thank you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please give us a like. It really does help us out. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, and even press that little bell notification thing so you can stay up to date on our videos. They're going to come out a couple of times a week, normally at 5 o'clock, so hit that bell and you'll get notified every time we upload a new video. And also, if you've got any suggestions, you've got any comments, or you've got any name ideas for things, then drop them down below, and I'll take a look at them all. So thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye!